There is a war happening right now, a war with no soldiers, no explosions, no front lines, just machines. And the people who own them, most investors aren't watching it. Most governments barely understand it. And yet, this war will decide who becomes rich, who becomes irrelevant, and which nations dominate the next century. It's not a war for oil. It's not a war for land. It's not even a war for data. It's a war for compute. The raw processing power that fuels every AI model, every prediction engine, every financial algorithm, and every automated system that's reshaping the modern economy. Right now, compute is becoming the most valuable and the most constrained resource on the planet, scarcer than semiconductors, more politically sensitive than energy, more decisive than capital, and the terrifying part, the winners are already being chosen. Not by markets, not by competition, but by access. So what exactly is compute? On paper, it sounds simple. Compute is the raw power that lets AI models run. It's GPUs, TPUs, high-density data centers, cooling systems, networking infrastructure, and the electricity to feed them. But in reality, it's something far more strategic. Compute is the engine of intelligence, the multiplier of productivity, the fuel of automation, the backbone of every AI breakthrough. Think of it as the new industrial capacity. In the 1800s, nations fought to control steel. In the 1900s, nations fought to control oil. In the 2000s, they fought to control data. Today, the fight is for compute. Who has it? Who doesn't? And who can afford it? Because here's the paradox. The demand for compute is exploding exponentially, but supply is growing linearly at best. Every new model requires more power. Every upgrade requires more GPUs. Every autonomous system requires more capacity. We're reaching a point where the limiting factor for innovation isn't ideas. It's not talent. It's not even capital. It's access to the machines that can run the ideas in the first place. This is the foundation of the hidden war. 1. The winners, whoever controls the bottleneck. In every supply chain, there is a bottleneck, a scarce point of leverage where power concentrates. In AI, the bottleneck is compute. And historically, the owners of bottlenecks don't just win, they dominate. Think of railroads in the 1800s. Think of oil in the early 1900s. Think of telecom in the 1,990 seconds. Whoever controls the scarce resource controls the industry built on top of it. Right now, a tiny group of players is consolidating that control. Cloud titans, chip manufacturers, AI labs with deep pockets, and countries with massive energy reserves and infrastructure. They aren't just building compute, they're hoarding it, locking up supply years in advance, forming exclusive partnerships, buying out entire GPU allocations before smaller players even get a chance to bid. This isn't competition. This is capture. Everyone else's everyone else. Startups lose because they can't scale models without compute. Researchers lose because breakthrough ideas require machines they can't access. Enterprises lose because every new AI upgrade becomes more expensive than the last. Even governments lose because their procurement cycles can't keep up with private sector demand. But the biggest losers? Investors who still think AI is a software story? It's not. It's an infrastructure story, a physical capital story, a constrained resource story. If you don't understand compute economics, you're not investing in AI. You're gambling on it. 3. Why this war is hidden. Most markets operate on transparency. Compute markets operate on secrecy. Nobody publicly reports their real capacity. Nobody reveals true utilization rates. Nobody admits how constrained they are. Why? Because scarcity increases power. Scarcity increases negotiating leverage. Scarcity increases valuation. If your competitor believes you have infinite compute, they treat you differently. If your investor believes you have infinite compute, they value you differently. And if your rivals don't know your supply chain weaknesses, they can't exploit them. This is why the war is invisible. It thrives on information asymmetry. 4. The rising cost curve. For the first time in tech history, the marginal cost of intelligence is going up, not down. Compute is getting more expensive. Energy is getting more expensive. Cooling is getting more expensive. Land is getting more expensive. Networking is getting more expensive. And AI models are consuming all of it faster than we can build it. This is the inversion point, a structural break in the cost dynamics of technology. Historically, tech gets cheaper, AI compute does not, which means the cost advantage belongs to the players who can absorb these rising expenses. And that means consolidation, mergers, dominance by giants, squeezed margins for everyone else. This is the economic gravity pulling the world toward monopoly. 5. The compute barbell effect. On one end of the barbell, massive AI superpowers with infinite budgets. On the other end, small, agile players using rented or shared compute. The middle gets crushed. Mid-sized companies, regional AI players, universities, lab networks, late-stage startups. They cannot compete with incumbents who control the supply chain from silicon to server rack. This is how the compute war restructures the economy. Not with bombs, but with budget sheets. Let's fast forward. Year 1-2, compute inflation becomes a permanent feature. Model training costs triple. GPU waitlists stretch to years. Cloud providers raise prices across the board. Smaller AI startups die not because their models fail, but because they can't afford to run them. Investors realize that AI scaling is not a software problem. It's a capital expenditure problem. Year 3-4, nation states enter the race. Aggressively, governments begin treating compute like nuclear enrichment, with export controls, national stockpiles, strategic reserves of chips, dedicated AI energy grids. The U.S., China, and select allies pull ahead. Everyone else falls behind. A new geopolitical divide emerges. Not developed versus developing nations, but compute-rich versus compute-poor nations. Year 4-5, autonomous organizations rise. A new type of company appears. An AI-native firm that operates 24/7, no human bottlenecks, no middle managers, just self-learning systems built on massive compute. These firms undercut competitors, produce faster, operate cheaper, execute strategies too complex for human teams. Traditional companies can't keep up. They either adapt or lose entire markets. Year 6-7, the compute oligopoly fully forms. A few dominant players own the physical infrastructure. They license intelligence the way utilities sell electricity. Want to run an advanced model? You don't buy it. You subscribe to it, and each tier of access gives you a different economic advantage. This creates a new hierarchy in the economy. At the top, entities with privileged access to cutting-edge compute. Below them, those stuck on outdated models. Below that, everyone else. It's not a meritocracy anymore. It's a compute aristocracy. Year 8-10, the world redraws itself around compute routes. Just as ancient empires formed around trade routes, future power blocks form around compute routes. Superclusters, cross-border data canals, dedicated cooling corridors, special economic zones optimized for AI. Cities rise where compute is cheap. Cities decline where it's expensive, and investors finally grasp the reality. They aren't investing in companies anymore. They're investing in access. Access to compute, access to energy, access to intelligence. This is the new economy. Relentless, unequal, but entirely predictable. We are entering a future defined not by who has the best ideas, but by who has the power to run them. Compute is becoming the new gold, the new real estate, the new geopolitical weapon, the new competitive moat. The war for compute isn't coming. It's already here. Silent, invisible, relentless. And the only question left for investors, founders, and policymakers is this. When the future is built by machines, who will own the machines that build the future? Because whoever controls compute controls everything.